I'm Stephen James from Uva Imports, and we have a very exciting thing for you today. I have here with me Fabio Zenato from Le Morette, a winery on Lake Garda, making beautiful wines from indigenous varietals. Fabio, give us a brief history about what you're doing there on Lake Garda with Le Morette and the viticulture making wines from this beautiful region.
Hi, Stephen. Thank you to Uva Imports for your great support in trying to make the distances very closer. Let's say Fabio Zenato, our winery is a first-generation family-run winery, Le Morette. We are located in Peschiera, Lake Garda, northeast of Italy. Our name is referring to a specific monarch living in our territory, specifically in a very small lake called Lago del Frassino. And to us, it's very important because this symbol in our brand is the real confirmation of the care we put in our everyday work for the biodiversity conservation and following all the sustainable criteria for viticulture that we apply every day in the vineyards and in winery. You know, this is something that we love to underline because we are family, we are artisanal wine producers, and we dedicate plenty of attention on these aspects. Of course, a first-generation family winery makes a lot of importance of history and experience, but this direction in protection of nature and conservation of biodiversity to us is very important because it means, of course, not using any herbicides or chemical pests and insecticides, trying to protect all the beneficial insights of the vineyards, and it's a way to get a healthier style wine. The same criteria we also apply in our winery. So the winery is mostly underground, and this is a natural conditioning system with zero energy costs and allow us to process grapes by gravity. So this is a new building of 2013, but based on fixed criteria of following sustainability from vineyard to the wine producing site. It's important because the whole area is a natural site protected by the European Union because of this very unique monarch. And we try to really be very authentic to our territory through our grapes, Turbiana, and for the white wine Lugana, and the Corvina and Rondinella for Chiaretto and Bardolino wines, which are all autochthon grape varieties. So the family, since ever, is working with autochthon grapes to give the best expression on the identity of the wines we produce. And this since 3 generations. So the idea is really preserving the territory where we live and where we work every day, caring about water, air, and soil, which are the 3 main characters that make this area unique because of the lake nearing, which has a big influence on the climate of our territory, and the action of the formation of the soil, which is the consequence of the glacier of Lake Garda, which is the biggest lake of Italy, and of course the main experience and expertise in applying all the care to get the best quality in the final bottle of wine, but remembering day by day that being a great viticultor means working in the vineyards to get the 90% of the quality, and then the rest is the real processing of grapes.
Thank you very much for this snippet and this information about Le Morette.
Now we're here with our Lugana Mandolara, which is our most important white wine of the winery. Our winery located in Peschiera Lake Garda, in the southern coast of Lake Garda. And this wine is a very unique direct consequence of this terroir, made of clay soil because of the action of the glacier, and pure expression of the 100% indigenous grape Turbiana. These 2 are the real ID characters of this fantastic fresh style wine that has a very unique sapidity and green freshness in the young phase that easily moved to minerality in it. It's a white wine that in our 3-generation family-run winery has been since ever the most important wine of the winery. And it's the real flagship of the winery and of this very small territory of Lugana. The wine is produced, of course, with all hand-picked grapes, normally mid-September, and a very, very careful fermentation phase that allowed to maintain all the integrity of the delicate fragrances of these grapes in the final glass of wine. It's a fantastic wine that can easily be poured for aperitif, or because of the area of the Lake Garda territory and the lake cuisine, can be really used for a lot of food pairing, especially with fish. But I would suggest also with crudité, with something very unique because of its delicate sensation and this very fresh, its acidity.
Fabio, I'm going to taste the Mandolaro Lugana, the region Lugana with the grape Turbiana. Will you mention maybe what the name Mandalara, what was the inspiration behind this name for the wine?
Yeah, Mandalara, the name of the label of this wine, refers to a line of almond trees which is surrounding part of the vineyard. It's quite a big vineyard, and there are these fantastic white blossoming trees that are surrounding the vineyard. That's the reason of Mandalara, because Mandalara means the almond trees area. Very dialect word of this area.
And when I taste this wine, when I first smell this wine, white blossoms, maybe even a little nuttiness. Maybe I'm influenced by the name of the wine, but also these wonderful sort of dense citrus fruits. I love how this wine tastes with green vegetables, even asparagus. I tell people this is perfect for like a hollandaise sauce for a brunch with a little salmon, poached eggs, hollandaise sauce, maybe a few sprigs of asparagus. What am I tasting here?
I think that you're great because your food pairing are suggesting the taste of the wine. Sapidity and salinity are the two dominant characters of the taste of this wine. Sure, delicate on the flavor, on the aroma, and then getting some more richness in taste. The palate is richer than the aroma, in my opinion, and this really bring the wine to another level in food pairing.
Fabio, you mentioned the texture of the wine. Is this coming mainly, would you ascribe this compacted clay soil giving you this richness? Because it's unoaked, right? It tastes, but it has that weight that people associate maybe with an unoaked Chardonnay.
You're right. Here, the role of the soil is so important. This variety, Turbiana, on these clay soils, in the sense of 40%, so rich in clay, is giving this kind of unique expression in integrity and richness in taste. So the same result could not be obtained in other soils. This is the confirmation of the habitat of this plant, of this variety in this territory, where it's grown since 2,000 years.
The region itself being there, it's so incredible, and it's a very small finite area, 7 square miles at the southern shore of the lake, very unique soils, unlike anything else that I've ever tried. It's truly a special experience to try the wines of Lugana from the Turbiana grape. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, today we are here with a bottle of nice Bardolino Chiaretto Classico, which is our steel pink wine that we produce here in Bardolino, in the area of Lake Garda, on the eastern coast of Lake Garda, close to Verona. And I'm happy to share you some information about this wine because of the uniqueness, identity of this wine. First of all, it's a wine produced with the very famous red grapes of Verona, the indigenous grapes, Corvina, Rondinella, and Molinari. So the same familiar grapes for the Amarone and the Ripasso are here showing this very bright rose color and very delicate fragrances and taste flavors in the glass. And the name is of the appellation is a DOC wine of the area of Lake Garda, is Chiaretto, which refers to the bright pink color. So it's one of the very few wines of Italy that has this specific appellation in the DOC regulation. Not a Rosato or Rosé, but Chiaretto, very unique name. This bright color, which is the, let's say, most important identity character of the wine, it's obtained thanks to a very short skin contact with the grape juice, only 4 to 6 hours, depending on the harvest, but very, very short time to maintain this light color and preserve the fresh fragrance of the wine after, let's say, crushing and the fermentation. This is something that makes the wine very unique, because it could be a very light and easy drinking wine, but at the same time, for its own characters and identity coming from the Corvina grape, can suggest the wine also with a nice food pairing. I would say the one I love most is risotto con gli asparagi, because at the same time of the creamy rice, you get this green hint of the asparagus, which are great in the combination with this specific wine. So indigenous grapes, a very unique territory with a unique climate, mostly due to the lake influence, because vineyards are so close to water, less than 1 mile, are offering this, let's say, flowerful sensation in the nose, and this persistent in the taste of the wine.
Fabio, I'm going to taste this Chiaretto Rosé. You know, you mentioned the risotto as a pairing. In the south here in Georgia, we have a lot of grilling out happening now, and shrimp. Shrimp is grilled shrimp, shish kebabs with vegetables, fresh vegetables, shrimp grilled. One of the things that the historical style. So you're on Lake Garda, the largest lake in Italy, and a lot of food in this area comes from the lake.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the history of making these pale style, Chiaretto Rosé style wines?
Yeah, this is something very, very important to remember, because this wine is DOC and is listed in the appellation rules since the beginning. So more than 60 years ago was written the regulation, but the tradition of the production of this wine has hundreds of years of history in this territory. This because of the food and of the use of this territory. So lake is a very important fishing lake, and lots of fish. And of course, this delicate style of wine in our summer time, which is very long, as you in the south, was suggesting the wine for lots of occasions in tasting. And the color makes it quite unique when you compare to many other Rosato of Italy, because of this northern climates and this very, very ancient tradition of very short skin contact. You know, as lighter is the color, as more difficult become to get the color and to maintain the color.
Molto bene. Grazie.
Grazie. Enjoy. Now we taste the Bardolino Classico, which is our, let's say, summer style red wine produced with the 3 indigenous grapes, Corvina, Rondinella, and Molinara, very close, let's say, the same grapes of the Chiaretto, but on a different way of producing. Same area, Lake Garda, eastern coast of Lake Garda, but here the intensity comes from a longer skin maceration. So here we have 6 days of skin contact instead of 6 hours of skin contact as it was for the Chiaretto, for the pink version of the wine. And the fermentation is running on a medium low temperature, which means run about 70 Celsius degrees, 70 Fahrenheit degrees. And this allows to get a very light style, a very brilliant ruby red color. So very fine tannins and fresh fruity notes in the wine. It's a wine fermenting in stainless steel tanks, so no any oak aging, and maintaining the identity of the Corvina grape, which is the dominant grape in this wine, which in some way reminds green pepper hint in the nose and in the taste.
Fabio, here in the US, these light, refreshing red wines have really taken over. I mean, there's so many names for wines like this. They say they're crushable, they're porch pounders, quaffable, the French vin de soif. I mean, these are terms that are quickly catching on in popularity. The color of this is so delicate. I like to drink this with a little chill. Put the bottle on ice if you're on the grill for a little bit, just for a few minutes, or put it in the refrigerator for a little bit of time just before dinner. I love this wine with what you would eat with Pinot Noir. So anything from like grilled salmon, some fish, the heartier fish, to light meats like roasted chicken or rotisserie chicken with roasted potatoes with some rosemary. I love the touch of spice that you get from the Corvina grape.
Yes, thank you for saying this. It's totally 100% agree with you. Very fresh in style that reminds the style of Pinot. It's a wine that, let me say, in the use of this area, Verona and Lake Garda, the majority of the bottles of this wine are drank medium chill. I would say 60 degrees, because very fine tannins means that you can enjoy the wine and the fruity side of the wine without getting any bitterness sensation coming up from the tannins. Here, the ripening part of the grape is very important to get fine tannins and avoiding any kind of bitterness of green tannins, which will hurt in some way this wine, these delicate notes of the wines. Here, I would say one of the easiest and most traditional plates for Italy in this wine could be spaghetti pomodoro basilico. Very clean, very direct, on a nice, slightly chilled down Bardolino pairing.
Mi piace molto.
Grazie.